So, hi everybody and welcome back. This is Unreal Engine 5 overview for absolute beginners. And this is video, let's see, 35. In this video, we are talking about Lumen. What is Lumen? Lumen is again a technical word, so a technical thing, a technical improvement. And yes, it has much to do with lightning, shadows, and the most important word probably is global illumination. And before we go on and define all these kind of words and show how this works, let's talk about lightning first, because lightning is the base thing which you have to know about this. And I know nothing. That's the best setup what we can have. That was no, not really. So, but in real, I know nothing. I know only, not even the basics actually. I know only there is something like, let's go here to the Windows tab, and then there is, where is this? The Place Actor tab, and here when I click on it, I know only this kind of lightning. I put them a little bit, I played a little bit with them around, but that's all. That is not enough to understand lightning, how this works, and so on. So, but that doesn't matter, because we still want to use it, right? And let's see what we can get out of Lumen now. So, before we go Lumen, let me show you why lightning is in general first very important. You can see the scene. I have set it to medium. I have no shadows and it looks not that good. But when I place here my game, yes, it looks not good, but for a play game with low settings, it would work. And now when we talk about Lumen, it is very important that we activate shadows, because lightning and shadows make the scene beautiful. Just even if I'm in medium, let's see, I just activate this one setting here, shadows, and look this. It looks much deeper. Let's set it up way again, low, it's gone. Let me zoom here a little bit, and I set it again. Yes, it looks already a little bit better. So lightning and shadows, very important. And let me go here a little bit higher and you will see how much it changed. Of course, this is not just lightning which is changing here, textures, effects, and so on. There is a lot of things when I change it here, but the appearance looks much better, and we have to see that. So I think I keep this now in high, and you can go here a little bit more. And the next info, I already told you, I have a very low spec, and this is just also for testing. What can we get out with a lower PC? And yeah, we will see. So that was a little bit lightning, a little bit shadow. That was just a little bit set up for Lumen, because Lumen is based on lightning and shadows, reflections, and the main thing, it's global illuminating. So that said, before we go on, let's activate Lumen. Actually, in Unreal Engine 5, it is activated by default, where you can see that we go here on top, go to the project settings, and down here in rendering, when I find it here, I click on it, and here are some rendering settings for different kind of stuff. And if you scroll down in global illumination, for example, but not only this one, you can read Lumen by default activated, reflection, Lumen by default activated. And here, this one is very important. If you have a newer graphic card, I have a very old one, it has no ray tracing. My graphic card has no ray tracing. This one is, in my case, not activated. But if you have a ray tracing capable graphic card, you can activate this and you can change here a little bit more. So that is sad. But the good news is this one works also without a ray tracing card, because Lumen uses two systems, one software ray tracing and one hardware ray tracing. The bad thing is software ray tracing is more limited, which means the results are not so good as if you have a graphic card with hardware ray tracing, and you have to read a little bit the documentation to see what they mean with that. But we continue because this one shows even without a ray tracing card I can use it. That's fantastic. Let's go on. So now let's go closer. It is already activated. So with other words, what you see here was already anyhow a Lumen demonstration, but wait a minute. We just saw some lights, shadows. Yes, I just clicked here and then I clicked there, and not a real demonstration, right? The point is, and now we come to another very important point. Lumen has to do with light. I already mentioned that, but it is most time a global illumination. Global illumination lightning. What means this global illumination lightning? Here I have a very little scene, and global illumination in this scene to demonstrate you means I jump to the direction light, and now I switch here to rotate mode. And now what you can see is when I rotate this one, I change the lightning, right? This is okay, normal. I change it a little bit more. Okay. And while I'm changing that, you can already see the color, the bouncing of the asset and so on is changing at the same time too. Now I have, for example, this setting up. If I start now, let's see. Okay. Then we have here this one, but careful, this is interior without in interior we have to be careful a little bit, because global illumination means this, let's see, this one, so the surfaces and far distance, and then how it works. It bounces and reflections here, and note no reflections at all because I have no surface with reflection, but we can see bounciness a little bit at least. Let me go here again. The bounciness is, for example, yeah, let me go to there. Okay, here we see nothing. When the color comes here, when the light comes, and so you can see how it is creating this one. Okay, this is not a good explanation, right? So let's go on. Let's try to understand this a little bit more in detail. I said Lumen has to do with shadows. Okay, we have it. And what is so good now in Lumen? I mean, what you see right now, this scene, for example, you could have it before too, right? Before you have Lumen. And I mean, I could just put here some lights, and then I have the same scene here without Lumen. And here comes the next absolute, probably the best thing about Lumen, as far as I can see, and it is the word real-time capturing. And what means real-time capturing? Let's explain this. There is something we can change in real time, and we see already the result, and there is something not real time, which means we can change, for example, this one, and we don't see the result. Okay, not really. Let's watch this again, and let's a little bit more in detail, right? So real time means when I change this one, this what you see here is probably the lightning result. Okay, so far I understand, that's cool, nice. But what is then not real time? Not real time is, I can't demonstrate it here real because we use here real Lumen, but I can demonstrate it with my normal light. Let's get some normal lights here. And this point light, for example, I place it here. And what you see here, at least as far as I understood, okay, I can see here light too, right? The problem here is, when we have it here, I think this one is affected by Lumen perhaps. But let's say this was not Lumen. Real time would mean now I place it here, and to see the end result, I have to go up here to build and select build lightning. And then this build lightning would compile in programming language, and then it will take all the changes and integrate it and calculate it right, and then show you the real result. For example, this would be not the thing what you see later, right? This is just a little bit preview, and you think it's okay, and then you go to build lightning, and then say, yes, that looks cool, I can keep that, perhaps this one looks not cool. After you build it, you see the finished result. So this is not real time. On the other side, Lumen, you don't have to, let's go to the Skylight because it was here set up. You don't have to build the lightning here. I changed this one. Okay, this was the wrong one. Oh, this was not Skylight, sorry. I have to go to directional light. I changed this one. And what you see right now, real time means this what you see. This is already the built and rendered lightning result. Yes, you have probably still to build it later again, but this what you see is already the final result. So you don't have waste time building and then waiting till it builds and checking if you like it and not. And let's say, oh, I don't like this one. For example, the static this not Lumen one. The point is here, if you don't like it, for example, let's say I change it here again. I could push it here, and then I go here down a little bit to the menus and say, hey, I want a cool color now. Let's see. I make here something like green. No, the green we have already. Let's make here something strange color looking. And let's say I want now this. This one, what you see, what you would see on a not real time lightning is, this is not the end result. Then you would have to go again here on top. Select build lightnings. And then this takes all time, a little bit time. And this what you see here is a very, very small scene, right? I showed you in another video that you can build a real big map, and there to build all the lightning one by one and by hand. That can take hours, even days. But on the other side, with Lumen, direct global illumination, for example, you can make a big scene much faster just by doing and see the results. Because the biggest problem is you want probably change this lightning. Oh, you say later, oh, I don't like this here. Oh, yes, perhaps here. Oh, no, here, and whatever. And the same thing you can do with global illumination here too. You can say, nope, again, Skylight, again, the wrong one. You can go here to global illumination, for example, too. You can say, oh, don't like it, but you can directly change it. This one looks better. Oh, this is direct. Yes, cool. Let's see this one. Do I like this? Do I like this? Oh, no. Let's go here. Change it. Yeah. Do I like this? Yeah, that's the. And this one, what you see is the end result. You will not change it a lot. One more. This is. One more thing to note. Because it's real-time capturing, it should be activated here. Also, I don't know where it was. Let's try it real. Okay, here not. Here not. Let's go to Skylight. In Skylight, for example, real-time capturing. If this is not activated, this real-time change will not work. There are some settings for this one, but by default it was activated, at least when I started this one, and it worked. Perfect. So let's see what we have to talk more is, yes, this I already said, if you have now a very big map, I don't create now, but I show you what I mean with that. If you go here fast to the landscape, and then you go to manage, and then you go to new, and you see my map here is really, it was just a test map, and I go not to this one. You go, for example, of a real big map or even bigger map, like something like that, and you see this little thing what I did. And now with global illumination, you could, at least in theory, cover a whole of a big space, because it works very good on open spaces, and this one will cover it up for you, so you have not manually set all and changes and so on. Next, what I want to show you is, let's go back to our scene. Let's see, you see this little, oh, let me change my camera speed back to 4, not 3. Come on. Okay, and here you see this strange looking box. Okay, the strange looking box I watched before I come here a YouTube video from Unreal Engine where they introduced Lumen, and they made here an example how this works indoor, and let's check this out a little bit as well. I move my directional light for this case here so I can use it there. Oh, not there. Let's use it here. Yeah, it's there, I think. All right, so now we can see how a directional light illuminates indoors, for example, and let's see what we see here. So I change now here the direction, and what you see here is, let me move this here also a little bit back first. I get it later. And what you see here is this illumination technique. So here from this window, it comes in, and the room here is illuminated with bouncing light. And that's what I call it's this technique, this technical term, which we don't understand behind the scene, but what we as a normal user should understand is how this looks, right? You have to decide, yes, this looks natural, yes, this looks cool, yes, this I can use for my game. That's it. And the nice thing is you can manipulate it on the fly. Again, real time. This lightning, I don't have to go now here all time build lightning every time when I change here. I see it directly. Do I like this one? If yes, cool. If not, change it more. Like so. And so on. And this one, what you see here, this was also in the demonstration. They showed here something very nice. They said, if you want something like dynamic lightning, for example, you make here moving platform, and you can have in real time now this global illumination indoors, for example. Let's say, let me close this a little bit more. and here too. And let's say so, yeah. And then you have to test. Let's say, okay, this is not big enough. Let me scale this a little bit up. Now it's better. So now it's really dark. So now you have, for example, a door. I think in the original thing they made it with a cave, which looked awesome. But in this case, this is real time. This is our own test case where we really can see what we can do. And now I open this up, and you see now how it will work in your game. How it will, you see this lightning here, and how this affects then the indoors and so on. Okay, I don't go more in depth of that because I will give you a link down in the description where the original video is, what I watched, and they explain it much better with a better graphic card and with ray tracing and the reflections. This is also awesome, and emissive emitter. And so the last thing what I want to show you is, and what you should know, let's wrap this up. What you should know is you can just now change on the fly, again the wrong one of course, here directional light. Okay, you can now on the fly change with Lumen settings and see the resulting. Then you can see also the bounciness here. Bounciness, I mean with the bounciness here, when the light comes here in and how it bounces against, for example, this rock and on the ground. And then when you have a reflection ground or something like that, then you can see that this all things instantly. And in the end result is you will spare a lot of time. That's the end result. For example, as me, who have no clue about lightning, I just use that one place and say, this looks cool, perhaps I need this kind of scene. I use it, and then I can perhaps have something like darker here, and then I see it instantly and I can change it on the fly. The last thing is, which was important, yeah, but there is something you should not forget. Only because we have now Lumen, a global illumination, we still need lightning knowledge. Yes, because Lumen is not replacing lightning. So that's very important. There is still tweaks which you have in combination with lightning to do later in special cases. But Lumen is replacing, for example, a lot of work with adjusting on the fly, making global big scenes fast, illuminated with lightning, shadows, reflections, and so out of the box. And I think when you watch a little bit more on YouTube, what they created for astonishing graphical scenes, especially designers, not like me, don't see this one. This here, what you see, is created by a guy who has zero skills for design. And you see, it's not that even bad, I think. Even if it's zero skill, it works out of the box. That I like it. So, and with that, I say Lumen is absolute astonishing, will help a lot. And even for graphic cards which are not supported, this one is just software support, and software support is limited compared to ray tracing card support. But this is also very important because they mentioned in the documentation side also the target platform. You have to see where you can use Lumen. For example, mobile is not supported. Also for all mobile developers, sorry, Lumen will be not supported, which means you have definitely learned lightning the old way, which means you will go all the work down with this build lightning and a lot of work. But yeah, that's life. At least we have Lumen for the other projects, the bigger projects, which we are going to produce. That said, let's try this out more. And one more note. I found all time one more. They said this is not the final product, which means they are still improving that, and this goes more and more further and further. Let's see what comes next. I hope it's already absolute. The best part is it works in real time, which means I can just use it. It works perfect. That's enough for me, at least. That I like, and I don't waste time. Okay, that's it. But now I stop and see us in the next one. Bye.